course, I had to go to my trusted resource, Investopedia, to learn more about a fiscal year, to make sure that a fiscal year wasn't a year ahead of the current calendar year. Current calendar year meaning versus fiscal year, pros and cons. What is a calendar year? A calendar year is 1 year period that begins on January the 1st and ends on December the 31st based on the commonly used Gregorian calendar. For individual or corporate taxation purposes, the calendar year commonly coincides with the fiscal year and thus generally comprises all of the year's financial information used to calculate the income tax payable. So that article I was reading was a year ahead. Maybe that person is so excited about 2025. Maybe they cannot wait because they think 2025 is going to bring them the year of change for their life. So the only thing they focus on is 2025, and they're trying to get out of 2024 in the quickness. For me, I know 2024 has been a year to remember. I ain't gonna never forget it. I can tell you that. But on the flip side, I'm looking to not just 2025, every single day that I have an opportunity. That's the reason why I'm before you now, because today is the day that I see an opportunity for me to grow, opportunity for me to increase my knowledge, opportunity for you to know who Avery Sanctuary Peterson II is, and for me to conquer my world. That's my first train of thought, is to conquer myself. And anything else that comes thereafter is up, just because it's life, right? That's what we're here for. I mean, that's the way that society has taught me. I have learned nothing else but that from society. Even from elementary school, when I was raising my hand to give teachers the answer, and they frowned upon me from answering. Like, school system, yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. You not understand the calendar year. The calendar year is also called the silver year. It contains a full 365 days, or 366 for a leap year. It is divided up into months, weeks, and days. The Gregorian calendar is an international standard and is used in most parts of the world to organize religious, social, business, personal, and administrative events. Calendars are useful for individuals and corporations to manage their schedules, plan events and activities, and mark special occasions in the future. The advent of technology has made planning even easier, as calendars are not easily accessible through computers, smartphones, and other personal devices. Some parts of the world use the standard as well as a religious calendar. For example, the Gregorian calendar was adopted in India nationwide when the British colonized the country. Although most of the urban India continues to use it today, devout Hindus in more rural parts of the country may continue to use a different regional religious calendar where the beginning and the end of the year date differs. A calendar year for individuals and many companies is used as the fiscal year, or the 1 year period on which the payable taxes are calculated. Some companies choose to report their taxes based on the fiscal year. In most cases, this period starts on April the 1st and ends on March the 31st, and better conforms to seasonality patterns or other accounting concerns applicable to business. Oh, so the fiscal year is different, but how in the world April 31st to March 30th? So we are in fiscal year 2025. Is it because March 31st is the end of 2020? Is because March 31st is in 2025. So next year, fiscal year, April 1st is 2026. So it is ahead and I'm wrong? And that person from, well, this is interesting. I'm glad I'm here learning and increasing my knowledge. A calendar year away runs from January the 1st to December the 31st. A fiscal, by contrast, can start and end at any point during the year, as long as it's compromised a full 12 months. A company that starts its fiscal year on January the 1st and ends it on December the 1st operates on a calendar year basis. The calendar year will represent the most common fiscal year in the business world. The calendar year represents the most common fiscal year in the business world. Large companies, including Google parent company Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta, formerly Facebook, use the calendar year as the fiscal year. Other companies elect to maintain a fiscal year. Walmart and Target, for example, have fiscal years that do not coincide with the calendar year. Wow. Switching from calendar to fiscal year. Individuals who file using the calendar year must continue to do so even if they begin operating a business, sole proprietorship, or become an S corporation shareholder. You must first obtain approval from the International Revenue Service by filing Form 1128 if you want to switch from the calendar year reporting to fiscal year reporting for your tax filings. Generally, those who follow the calendar year for tax filings includes anyone who has no annual accounting period, has no books to record, and whose current tax year does not qualify as a fiscal year. Perhaps advantages, disadvantages of calendar year. Perhaps the biggest advantage of using the calendar year is simplicity. For sole proprietors and small business, tax reporting is often easier when business tax year matches up with the of a business owner. Moreover, while any sole proprietor or business may adopt the calendar year as its fiscal year, the IRS imposes specific requirements that will business want to use different fiscal years. One of those requirements is when filing are due, the IRS requires business to file their taxes on the 15th day of the third month after the end of the fiscal year. So if a company fiscal year ends on June 30th, the business must file its taxes by September the 15th. A certain industry using a different fiscal year makes sense. For example, seasonal business that drives the majority of their revenue during a certain time of the year often choose a fiscal year that best matches revenue and expenses. Retailers such as Walmart and Target use a fiscal year that ends on January 31st rather than December 31st because December is their busiest month due to the holiday season, and they prefer to wait until holiday season ends to close out their year-end books. Business that solicited investment dollars, whether from venture capital or crowdfunding platforms, may find advantages to use a fiscal year. For example, if a business receives a big investment in November or December but does not begin incurring major expenses until February or March, using the calendar year could result in onerous tax burden. Wow, it's a lot to learn. A lot to learn. So this fiscal year could be ahead or behind, it seems like. So that person is correct. I'm sorry, the Motley Fool and whoever wrote your product, because you're correct. I'm learning. Fiscal year, what is the advantages over the calculated year?